What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And it's been a while since we've filmed. Finally got that Blazer project out of here. Kind of turned into a little bit of a nightmare, so I didn't do a lot of extra videos on it. Just leave it at that. You guys can hear more about it on my podcast that I have coming out. But what we're doing right now, guys, we got this 40 plus foot trailer in here. It's a big trailer. It used to be red. We painted it black and did a bunch of work to it, but I'm going to get you guys in here. Right now, we're starting this ramp system that's going to come in off this deck, and it's going to go up to an upper level. And basically, it's going to be for one of his razors. He fits about 3 cars on here. He's going to add some Banshees and stuff like that for when he goes out to Glamis. So we're just right now working on fabricating up these ramps. We're going to cut down, working on the angles and everything we need so that they can come up and butt to this T-bar system. Those are going to be flat up on top so the car can actually roll, and the front tires will be up on a flat spot there. We're going to be adding a winch. We're going to be doing a double power landing gear, adding new batteries, a bunch of stuff like that in this video, guys. So let's get into it. So I had made a sample piece and we did a little cut on it, and we kind of found our angle, basically the angle for this pipe coming up to hit here, and it's going to have to butt weld. So we found the angle that it's going to need that's really, really close. So what I'm thinking about doing is actually stacking 2 sticks on here and cutting both of the legs at the same time. We're using 3/16 inch and a half, pretty stout stuff. Using this Evolution saw, dude. This saw is the original model, original blade. This fucking blade has like, I don't even know how many thousand cuts on it, and I'm just now ordering a new one. I got it in like 2019, and this thing has not let me down at all, dude. If you guys are cutting lots of steel, you have 100% got to get away from the carbide, that big black cutoff saw thing that takes a month to cut through. This one slowed down a little bit because this blade is pretty wore out, but it'll still, if I stack 2 of these on here, it'll still cut right through it. I just take my time so I don't burn up the saw, but new blade should be here tomorrow, hopefully. Amazon actually carries their blade, and so we got one coming. They have so many cool new saws too. Shout out Evolution. Wish I was sponsored by them, but we're going to build this side ramps first, guys. This will be the bottom rail. It'll have 2-foot connectors. So the outside of the other rail will actually be 2 feet. So it'll be about 21-inch spaces in the middle at about a foot apart crossbar. It's going to get expanded steel mesh on there. And then up at the top, it'll probably get a diamond plate square. And then at the very base, it's going to have a diamond plate lead on. And then it's going to get a similar little bump rail like this one coming up off of here. So boom, 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 all the way up so that it kind of matches the trailer and that the tire can't slip off. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. We're going to build same thing for both sides. So we'll build this first one, ramp, kind of like a ladder, basically. Then we'll build that side, and we'll just kind of slowly as we go work through the issues that we're going to run into. This turned out being really strong. Going here, we were going to have a corner post kind of where this 2x4 is to hold up this outer leg, but I don't think we're going to need it. This material is very, very tough. He's never going to put anything up there other than like off-road vehicles and stuff like that. And if he were to put a small car or something up there, I'm sure it'd be fine. And we're going to go ahead and tie all these in, cut these to length, and then it'll get more supports and stuff put in there. So let's get to it. I'm going to stack another piece on top of that one and try and cut them both at the same time. And hopefully we can get that done and let's get started. Let's go. So that's probably about the maximum height or thickness that this saw will cut. But I'm hoping that it'll match me identical angles on both of them. I have it set at about 16 degrees is what the saw is at right now. So I had my sample piece, put it in there, made some cuts till I found one that I liked, and then left the guard where it was at. And that's kind of like my checkpoint now, because I have to cut 2 on that side and 2 for this side. So if I cut both of these, they'll be a set for this side. Do the other 2, they'll be a set for that side. So at least they'll be identical. We can fill a pretty decent sized gap if need be. Being thicker material, it can take the heat. So that shouldn't be too big of an issue. Let me grab some safety glasses and we'll go from there. The saw is extremely loud. I'm already yelling, but the saw is extremely loud. So beware of that. And I'm going to cut a little slower than this saw normally cuts. Another thing I wish they did is this height right here from the cutting deck down to the material is like an odd. It's like 2 5/16. So nothing. It's not easy to make a standoff guard. So over there, I have it a piece of 1.5 and a piece of 3/4. It's real close, but over a span. So I use this clamp to get everything down tight and straight as possible until we can make the proper standoff block for it. Basically, just a support for under the material so it's not popping up. Put this in here. Make sure these are flush. I'm going to bring this back in and tighten them up. Okay. Check it. Yeah, pretty close. I think we'll go with that. I don't want to cut off more and have too big of a gap. I'd rather be a little less and be able to just kind of weld it in there. I want to make sure that these tubes are straight. Check it again. So that's kind of what I'm seeing. So you can see it does 2 really nice cuts. You'll know your blade's getting wore out because it's the material's not supposed to be hot after. This is a cold cut saw. So if you can see it's getting a little bit of heat, the camera won't focus, but it gets a little bit too much heat in there. You know that some of the teeth are probably starting to get chipped up and maybe wore off a little bit, but still does a really nice straight cut. I had the Makita one with the carbide blade, and it was impossible to get straight cuts. You might as well just butt it up and close the gap. So now I'm going to take this off here. I have a 2x4 set up here already. See if we can get you guys kind of a little more in the what's going on. So I'm going to set this up on that 2x4 there. That's the same height as the bottom of the rail, and it sticks out a little bit. So I should be able to land one of the pieces on there and we can check the angle. Hopefully it's decent. Okay, hopefully that'll stay up there. Yeah, hopefully that'll stay up there. Let me bring you guys in here and show you what we're working with now. I don't know if you can see, it's pretty dark, but this is a little high because of where my board is. That's why this is a little higher than it should be. But look at that, angle's almost perfect. I'll probably go ahead and set up the other sides too and get it cut. There you can see the little gap. I just could right there. It'll almost have nothing, guys. That's pretty good. So once that drops into place, so basically what we're gonna do, we'll weld that one on where it needs to be, and then figure out our spacing and come over, weld the other one in. Then we can put some cross supports between these bars and come down this way. This is at the base of the ramp right here, and it'll go up. So let me get a couple more things set in place, and we'll go from there. We'll start ready to start welding. Okay, we got our bars cut, and we got basically a nice little layout. We marked every single foot all the way down where it's going to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to weld in this first foot down, because see, these will dead end in this bar right here. So this is actually one bar. That's 2, 3, 4, 5 going all the way down. I'm not going to put one at the very end down here, because that's going to dead end into the trailer. It's 1.5 inch square stock. And instead of cutting angles on the end of that, I'm just going to run diamond plate out past them till it lands flush with that diamond plate. And that should be a real nice transition. So we'll weld that in. That'll give us our rectangle piece that we need. And then we can set it up here in place. So we'll have to like weld something on the end so we can kind of like set it up here like a hook kind of, instead of welding it in for now, because we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. Everything right now is just tacked in. So we got a bunch of hours of welding coming up. So I'm going to take these clamps, clamp them together. I have the pipe pieces marked and these marked. So we'll go center to center, because we want to set these at exactly in the middle of 1 foot. So that if we do have a material seam, it can catch and go both ways. So let's get the welder set up and get these welded in. Couple tacks to hold it. See if the gun will... I don't know if my gun will reach this far. I'm gonna have to adjust the welder a little bit. I'm using this new nozzle gel that they got, and man, it works so good. You don't get no splatter or nothing on your nozzle on the tip. All right. So the big checkpoint is just making sure these lines line up and that this stays flush, because this deck I'm working on is not perfectly straight. So you got to kind of make the adjustment. So now I can unclamp it, and well, actually we'll weld a couple little tabs on the end, but we'll be able to either put a block in there or put some tabs on there and hang the ramp, and then we can do all the additional measuring. So we'll get the other one made up just like this for that side. Then we'll get this one put up in the air, and then we'll start laying out the rest of our, I call them steps, support bars, whatever you want. Kind of go from there, guys. So stay tuned, and we'll be back in a little bit. Hey, what's up, guys? Just continuing to cut our cross supports for our ramp right here. So I'm just going to kind of set you guys up. I've got quite a few of these to cut through, and then we'll get them laid out in that side ramp, and then we'll start welding them in. I did a little bit of mock-up with partner Mike this morning with the ramp up on an angle. Wasn't able to film it, but you guys will be here when we set it up in place here in a little bit and just kind of start looking at how it's going to lay out. We also got the diamond plate and expanded steel ordered. It'll be ready for us to pick up tomorrow, which is Saturday. And we only have till the end of this next week really to get this done, possibly next weekend. But by that following Monday, the 9th, it's going to have to go. So let me get back over to the saw and we'll keep grinding along on this, guys. Oh, that's not good. You guys see that? Okay, the guard came loose, or the this is what catches all your shavings, and apparently it was sliding back, and the saw blade came down inside and nicked it and shot it out the back like a firecracker. So always wear your PPE. Wow, guys, could have been bad, bud. Could have been really bad. Give the ass. Gonna have to do a field repair. That's fixed. So on these, we're gonna have to clean up the ends a little bit. When we drop them in, we can weld them up. We don't have to deal with cleaning them later. But what we might want to do is rub them down with acetone as well, because they had a lot of oil on them. They had a lot of oil on them. I don't know if what they did, but we need 10. So we've got 2 in there, mocked up, 4, 6, 8. Let's cut 2 more for this side, and then before we cut that side, I'll show you guys welding them in over here. And that'll kind of wrap up what we're working on for this intro video on this. But before we do that, let's finish cutting them, get them cleaned up, get them installed, and I want you guys to be able to see what the ramp kind of looks like held in place. See if we can accomplish that. Got some stick figure playing in the background. Probably get canceled for that, but we'll try and edit it out the best we can. Some stick figures, some slightly stupid, whatever gets you through the day, man. By the way, I have a brand new blade coming for this. It's an Evolution brand blade. The same blade that's on it that has thousands of cuts. I don't know how many cuts it has on it, but it has a ton and ton of cuts. I mean, I showed you guys a little bit earlier, but you can see how clean these are. I don't know if you can see it from there. I got you on the new GoPro. I hope you like it. So let's get these cleaned up. That's the process. That's the deal with steel. You got to buy it. It has a coating on it and oil. You got to acetone that down. Then you got to grind through this mill scale. Otherwise, you get a lot of porosity and stuff in your welds, and it just won't turn out as good. So we got to take the extra time here. I'm going to try and speed these portions of the video up for you if I can. See what kind of editing we can get done on this first video back. It's been a while. It's good to have you guys back, man. Okay, these are the other ones for the other side. We're not even going to worry about these 2. Let's kind of get those out of the way. I ground down a couple of these, but I am going to wipe them down with acetone. But you know what? I'll just go ahead and put them in there, and then we'll wipe down the whole ramp later off film. So let me just grind these out real quick. I'm going to do a review on these batteries, guys. They're lithium ion 18 volt 8.0s, and they're identical to the Milwaukee stuff. My pops actually found them online, and you get like 2 for 50 or 2 for 60 bucks. And so far they kick ass. So we're gonna see how long they last, because the Milwaukee batteries lasted, man, years and years. So if these only last a month or two, it ain't worth it. But if they get you at least a year, I would say it might be worth it. You know, because if you bought a few packs and you had like 8 of these in your bin in there charging and fully charged, and you rotated them, there you're talking a lot of long time lasting, long time. All right, stop rambling, bud. We got to get shit done. Wow, the shit that goes on, you know. All right, let's get the welder set up. I'll get you guys in another position, probably over here. And then we'll just kind of work our way down and hopefully get these in there. So hang tight. And honestly, I probably should have been wearing a mask, because it's like, even running that little grinder, all that dust after a while, it builds in your everything. So yeah, we got to be better, dude. We got to be better, guys. Our little Miller welder, you guys have seen it if you've followed my channel before. It's time for a new helmet too, by the way. And I'll go completely over that in another video. I'm going to do a bunch of new products and stuff that I'm using. I want to show you guys, but a lot of action coming up here, boys and girls. Let's see. Yeah, this right here, this is what you want. This is the saw you want right here. Know what I'm saying? All right, let me get the welder set up and we'll be right back. All right, so I got all these bars cleaned up and laid in here. Our big checkpoint's going to be making sure they're flush with the side rails, that they're not twisted and they're not too high or too low. It's a thinner material than the 3/16. We use some 3/16 at the top and bottom to kind of build a box, and then we're putting this lighter material back in there. Plenty strong. So I just kind of have my checkpoint with this square here. So I'll just kind of push them down into place, put a tack on them, work my way all the way down, and then we'll lift it up there so you guys can kind of see what it looks like. Need that. Outcast Services. We got Instagram and a TikTok as well. You guys can check out the TikTok. There's a lot of cool stuff on there. Most of the Blazer being finished up is on TikTok, all the way up to when it leaves, and you'll see it running and everything on there. I might upload all of those shorts and put them on the YouTube channel just so you guys can get caught up. Because I've had a lot of people ask me what happened with it, but it all came to a good closing. Yeah, the client and we're fine. So he'll keep me updated if he wants on the paint and interior, and maybe I'll get to see it when it's 100%. But it definitely left my shop with everything I was supposed to do done. So, all right, guys, let's check this out here. I'm going to work my way down using my mallet, making sure they're level. And then I'm just going to throw some tack welds in here all the way down and try and make this as quick and painless as possible. I'm kind of working over the rail because I thought it'd be a good shot for you guys, and then I don't have to be on my knees up on the trailer, so it was kind of a win-win. But let's see what we could do here. So I'll tack the one side, and I want to make sure it isn't twisting or nothing on me, and if it is, then I can kind of tap that. See, that's a little low. We don't have to get like overkill crazy on the on every little thing, but it's good practice. Cause see, like right there's a gap under that. I know you guys can't see it, but so we'll just kind of try. I should get my little pry bar so I'm not using my straight edge. Let me grab one. Got a 3-pack of these little pry bars, small, medium, and large at I think it was Ross, like the clothing store. And I go through their little tool section. I find all kinds of cool little stuff. Cheap too, most of the time pretty cheap. So I'm just gonna put this in under here. There it is. Then I can just tap it back. That's a little bit of people don't understand the time that goes into this stuff unless unless you're doing it. I just don't want to end up with a high or a low because there's going to be expanded steel on here, and I don't want it to like have any reason to start to get a dip or a high spot in it, because the expanded steel really doesn't look good if it's not stretched in place when it's welded. It gets like wavy and kind of janky looking. So the closer we can be now, I'd rather spend the time now and do it right and just kind of go from there. Still using that nozzle gel. It's working pretty good. Where the Halliburton is my C-clamp, bud? Huh? We had a C-clamp here, guys. Remember? Oh, it's still over there on the material. Hello. Welding fumes are starting to get to me a little bit here. Of course, it's almost, what, 4 o'clock? Maybe 3 o'clock. So we've been out here all day already. All right, what I'm gonna do, God help us, that's heavy. Try and hit this seam right here. Yeah, problem is, I need to see what it's like on this other side, guys. Okay. It's really heavy. We're working alone, so you got to be careful. Don't have a crane. I don't have a crane. I think it's going to be good. I think I might be overthinking it. It's nothing that we can't just deburr a little bit and lay our stuff up here, and I think it's going to be pretty straight. If I had a giant fab table, it'd be different. I only have a little 4x4 one over there, and it's just not going to be enough. I'd have to support that end, and you see how heavy it is. So let's just drag it back into place, see if we can keep going. I need an apprentice, dude. I need a helper, bud. Help ain't cheap. Help is not cheap. Yeah. You can probably imagine why I like music like this, because you got to be able to stay calm and work your way through it. This is a very long strung out process. I mean, besides the editing and everything that's going to get done for the video's sake, I mean, I could have this video done in 20 minutes, the whole thing, if I want. So you just got to really take your time. You don't want to get hurt. And I'm going to do a full segment. If you're trying to start a trailer repair business and you want to get into this kind of stuff, maybe that's why you're watching, maybe it was the Miller tag that you saw or something about it, then we'll get definitely more into that. But just thinking ahead so you don't have to go back and do work twice. And then the work you do is as straight and as square and as flush as possible, so that the work you do further down the line, you're not having to cut these weirdo angles and do all this fix it to make it look right action. So let's just keep rolling here, guys. I'm gonna jump in and weld the rest of these all the way in. You kind of get the idea here. Let me bring you down here. You guys kind of get the idea of what's going on. Welding each one of these at a foot, and then up there, there's going to be one welded at 18 from the top, or from the end, because we're going to put another little diamond plate piece up there. So the spacing will be just a little different up there, but once I get these all the way lined up and fully welded in, I'll bring you guys back in here when we go to try and set this up there. I don't even know if we're going to be able to lift it by ourselves. We might have to wait for partner Mike. But nonetheless, let me get back on it and just get them straight. You guys can hang out if you want, or you can fast forward. You can do what you want to do. But I'll leave you guys right there. I'm just going to keep working my way down, trying to weld these things in as straight as possible. Let's do it. Paradise. Just such a big gap under that side. That's the problem. You know, this probably isn't helping either. Got that stuck in there now. Edit all that out, dude, so it doesn't look like you have any struggles at all. You're just the best fabricator. Everything you do is super easy. You don't have to worry about nothing, man. Yeah, right. Welcome to the real world. Welcome to the real world, man. You got to take your time and do it right. I won't finish that sentence. Anybody that knows my friend Pete, everybody's friend Pete over at SWRNC and DIY Auto School. If you guys don't check him out, you got to. He's great. He'll say, if you're not doing it right, if you ain't doing it right, you ain't doing it at all, or something like that. It's hilarious. Check him out. Well, that's a good sign that our cuts are nice and square and the proper length. In reality, you can eyeball center of these legs, you know, because all this is just going to get covered. The most important one is wherever you're going to have a seam, like my diamond plate will stop in the middle of this bar, and then my expanded steel is going to take off from this bar, so that you don't have a seam out here in the middle of nowhere, and that'll, you know, I mean, that won't work. Good here, right? Oh, we got to put our last tack. I do wish that side was a little bit lower, but that's just being a pet peeve over it. Let's see. Come here, actually. It's about all the more that clamp can get there, guys. Know what I'm saying, Tammy? Don't burn yourself. Beautiful, you know. Alright, let's try to check on these. It's a little more than a tack weld, I guess you could say, but again, this is heavy stuff, and I don't want any of it moving around or coming loose. I'm lucky that I can do this out of my house. I've got a long driveway with my garage in the back, so I'm able to fit. And I put temporary fencing up extending off of my gate, and just have all the neighbors and stuff kind of help keep an eye out in case anybody decides they want to come shopping or whatever. Never know. You never know. Started off cabinet making after high school, and now look where we're at. I don't know. It's life. Batman, the nozzle's gone. Huh. I've never seen that. Did you guys see anyone? I'll have to check the tape. Somebody pulled the nozzle off, bud. Okay. Thought I had flux core or something. Let me grab the tip dip. Nozzle gel. Gel Borbus. Yale para baquilas. Anyway, you dip the tip in that and it's supposed to create like a barrier between the slag and all. Good enough. All the more tip we've had dip, boy. Hope you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm trying to move you guys. How long this trailer is. It's like an aircraft carrier. Okay. All right. Nice to have you guys here. I get tired of working alone, man. Well, it's nice to have you guys here with us today. Now, I don't want to be burning this deck all up. But the little bits that it is getting on there isn't going to be a big deal because I'm actually going to wash, let it dry, and then seal and paint this deck black. So you won't see any of it, but I still don't want to char it up too bad. So if you were looking at that, I agree. Okay, this one moved on us a little bit, and it might be a little too... Yeah, she's tighter than... Didn't quite fit in there. Still have it, you know, you want to... That one's already in. What's tough too is this metal's thick, but you're only welding such a short amount that I actually have the heat up a little bit and the wire speed down so that I can just kind of sit there and let them bake. Because by the time you go only 1.5 inches long, if you just kind of whirly whirl through it, it might not be penetrating all that good. And after say 3 or 4 years of rain and being out in Glamis in the desert and stuff, you might actually end up start cracking some of these, cracking them off. I don't know. Never done it. I have no idea, dude. Where do you guys work? Comment below. What do you guys do for a living? Why are you watching this video today? Are you gonna put ramps on your trailer? Or did you just realize early on in the video I had no idea what I was doing? So you figure out, I gotta stick around and watch this guy. That one's really tight. That one's really tight. It really, really is. I love a mallet. Or actually, you know what? Like when you get all like crazy with the exact names of tools, this is a dead blow, right? It's got the sand in it. But man, sometimes you just gotta let it eat. Okay, so there's a severe hump in the wood right here. So I need to tap that open. I'll put one on that side. You know what? Yeah, I don't want it to twist. So if you're gonna get going on stuff like this, the hardest thing you'll have to deal with is bidding the job and knowing how much to charge. And let me tell you right now, you're gonna eat a lot of your own labor because frankly, people just don't want to do it. You're working out of your house, you're working by yourself. Maybe you do really good work. They've seen your work, but they still don't feel like cracking off that money or whatever. Like if they go to the dealership or they go to an auto parts repair place or whatever, you know, like an oil change place, whatever, they know they're going, they pay, they swipe their card, whatever, they don't even think about it. So when it comes to you, you got to figure out what your material cost is going to be. And unfortunately, you're not even probably going to be able to double it right now. Yeah, so like if you're going to do, you got to figure, and it's going to be hard because you don't know how many days it's going to be. And start off small, just do little trailer repair stuff, like little welding, little stuff that you know. Sorry guys, I don't know what happened, it cut out, but Yeah, just start off small. One thing I'll tell you that you should do right away is get good at trailer, electrical, and lighting. That's where most of the money's at. People don't want to mess with electrical. Learn the 7-pin connectors. Learn how to put them on flatbeds and in the back of dualies and pickups. And that's where you'll make a lot of money. And don't be afraid to go mobile. I don't personally go mobile. I don't really care for going mobile because I like to do all my work here at home. You know, all my stuff is here. It's easier. It's not as expensive. You don't have to deal with traffic. But like if you're in a small town and you got to travel to the nearest big city, whatever, dude, that's all part of it. You could then it's cool. You get to build your little rig, kind of have your welding rig, and however you want to set it up, and be a mobile trailer repair guy, and you know, communicate with your vendors and your suppliers and find all the best stuff that you can for the best price in your area, and really start to be able to put some decent bids together. Because I've had it where, like on this one, for example, I had to order that blade for this chop saw. That's $100 right there. So, you know, it's like that's got to come out of my profit because you're not going to just tack a random $100 on at the end of the quote or at the end of the job. And another thing, make sure that they know that you're just giving them an estimate. You know, lock in an estimate. You don't have to necessarily lock in the one and done blood money price. Then you have no room. You run into something and they'll say, well, you told me it was going to be that much. You know, leave room for the unforeseen. All right, guys, I'm going to get the rest of these welded in here. I need to grab a couple things so that I can level these now that they're loose. Basically, I'm just going to find the right thickness for underneath them, line them up, continue welding them in. And then when we come back, what we'll do is we'll start off by setting this ramp up in place. We'll already have that one built off camera, so you don't have to sit through that. This was to give you an idea of what we're doing. But when we come back, we'll have this one up there one time just so you can kind of see what it looks like, and then that'll conclude this video. And then on the next video, it'll be the diamond plate pieces, the expanded steel going in, and then kind of building the upper deck up there so you guys can see what that looks like. So hit like, comment, subscribe, follow along, tell a friend. Don't forget TikTok, Instagram, guys. We're on there. TikTok, Instagram, that's where we do. Even Facebook. So check us out. All of my Instagram stuff posts to Facebook as well. So yeah, pick the right tools. Get yourself a welder. Don't waste the money on any other saw besides a cold cut saw. Spend the money, guys. Save up. Spend the money on this. It'll save your ass. And my welder is the Miller 215, the Multimatic 215. It's a cool welder. It does steel, TIG, MIG welding, and stick welding, and I have the aluminum spool gun for it. So you can kind of get away with doing everything. I was kind of sold under the impression that this thing did aluminum TIG, and I didn't do enough of my own research. The guy at Airgas kind of, oh yeah, dude, it does aluminum, it does everything, it does TIG. He didn't say that it doesn't do aluminum TIG. So it's not an inverter machine. So those are all things you'll want to look into. If you're thinking about you want to do more of the TIG welding stuff, maybe you have a smaller shop, a smaller garage area. It's a lot cleaner, a lot more condensed TIG welding than this MIG welding. MIG welding is probably the easiest and the most production you can really turn and burn. Stick welding's cool. It's messy. It's kind of the old school way of doing it, especially when it comes to trailer repair and stuff. Sure, pipelining and all that's different, but stay tuned, guys. I do have a CNC machine. I don't know if you can see that Done Wrench sign over there on the wall. So we'll be getting into that, but right now we've got a lot of trailer repair. We have this guy's bringing an aluminum diamond deck trailer in after this. Then we just finished a dually flatbed. I'll post a picture of that here. Did all the lights, wiring. The truck itself had electrical issues that we had to run jumper wires, and got everything figured out and fixed up. And then I have another horse trailer and another truck coming in all through the month of February here. So Thanks for joining back in, guys. Outcast. Find us on social media, and we'll see you later.